was Abregmerylin, and Arthur spent many afternoons beneath the green canopy, talking of legends and the kingdoms that came before. Merylin recounted what he had learned and studied, how nations rose and fell, men of valor succumbed to treachery, and kings who forged dreams of unity were torn apart by greedy men of simple minds. Often Arthur could not tell which voice spoke, Merylin's or Chaos's. Chaos would tell of heroes who rose with visions of peace, only to be killed and disgraced by gossip, their dreams and peoples lost soon after. Pan rarely involved himself, but he listened intently when Chaos spoke as one who had once been human, and who had been blamed for the evils that plagued his people. Pan learned that Chaos was not a harbinger of wickedness, but an observer from the stars. Curious and impartial, Pan saw with a pang of hope what no legend before had offered. A young heir placed amid timeless vessels of wisdom and witnesses of ages. He accepted that his years of guarding the relic now in Arthur's possession were being rewarded. He prayed silently to the warrior of the light that his name and wisdom might outshine his half-goat form. After that, Pan began to join the conversations, echoing Merlin's intentions, hoping to teach Arthur the folly of greatness turned inward, how even noble intentions can lead someone to become the very evil they oppose. They kept their location hidden from magic, hoping to avoid the Dark One, but the Dark One aimed for what could not be forever hidden. As they rode toward Castle Pendragon one late afternoon, Merlin noticed thick smoke on the far horizon. Pan did too. They exchanged a tense look. Arthur asked, "What is that coming from?" Merlin answered with concern, "Only one thing that makes a dark cloud such as that: war." At the castle outskirts, Arthur saw unfamiliar faces. Many injured. King Arthur, seeing his son, called Arthur, "Go with Merlin into the castle. They'll shut the gate behind you to keep you safe." Arthur looked confused. "What is going on, father?" The king's captain arrived then and explained, urgency in his voice. "It began this morning. People started showing up, talking about shadowed armies of monsters, creatures that used to be people. At first we thought madness. Then the wounded arrived, saying they'd been attacked by a horde they call the Tuatha-Dananum, an army that came from across the seas. They take no prisoners and plunder everything. We thought perhaps the Picts, but they fit no known description. They say their leader is a giant of a man in black armor, the Black King. We are gathering our best men. Your father intends to stop him before he gets any further. So stay in the castle until our return. Do you understand me, boy?" Arthur only shook his head. The captain softened a bit. "Good lad. Now run along, and don't let the gates down for anyone except those you know." He spurred his horse and rode off to catch Uther, who had already ridden toward the gate with his men. When they were alone, Merlin took Arthur aside. "Now listen, Arthur, I have taught you all I know to prepare you for this moment. You may have to face this Black King in battle soon. I haven't told you how your former life fell to become what he is now. He fell not by treachery from another, but by his own hand. His heart grew cold from years of battle until the good in him was smothered by bloodshed and the splendors of victory. It wasn't a single moment, but years of reveling in pride and skill, until the sages saw the evil behind his veil of righteous indignation. Seeing this rising darkness, the sages attempted to betray him, sending him into battle against a great beast that could not be killed. They laid a trap and lured the warrior into casting himself into a prison built to hold the beast. To do so, he had to lock himself in with it. The treachery held him for a time, but he eventually broke free. When he learned of the sages' betrayal, he rose against them. and was exiled to a place of banishment, a land that later sank into the ocean, taking him with it. We all thought him defeated, banished and unable to return. He dropped the sword during a battle far away in the desert near a kingdom called Jericho. The sword was placed back into a stone pedestal to await the warrior's return, purified by death of the evil that gave way to the prophecy of your coming. I tell you this so he cannot deceive you with lies and lure you from the pure and innocent heart you have now. Remember, you are not him. The sins of the father should not fall upon the son. Keep to the wisdom we have shared with you. I will go prepare for battle. You should prepare to escape if he gets close. Arthur went to his room and began to make ready. But before he could finish, it was as if he were ripped from his body and carried across a vast distance. He stood in spirit before the Black King.
The black-clad knight's voice filled the space around him. Boy, do not be afraid. I do not seek to kill you just yet. Arthur brushed him off, though he did not know the man. The Black King chuckled and reached out. A veiled woman appeared at his command. She removed her veil. Arthur's breath caught. It was Gadriel, but her eyes were glassy and white. Trust me, boy, the Black King said, I know everything about you and that you have my sword. We can be allies and rule this world together. These meatbags need us to lead them to the greatness we will bring. Without us, they are lost to their carnal desire. Together with you by my side, I shall build my kingdom upon the earth and rule it forever through you. We would be unstoppable. Arthur stared at Gadriel, then at the Black King. You speak of promises and a path to greatness, and yet your deeds say otherwise, he said, nodding toward Gadriel, who stood as if petrified. The Dark One warned, don't defy me, boy. My offer will not be given a second time. Arthur stood firm. To defy you is what my heart tells me is right. It is my destiny to stand against you. You are a monster that must be stopped. Golgothos being the Black King, erupted in anger. Don't fall victim to those sorcerers' lies a second time. I did, and look where it led me. Betrayed for something I had not yet done. Exiled for proclaiming they were wrong. Banished for trying to fight for my freedom against their lies. They cannot be trusted. The words struck Arthur. They rang true. He faltered, then shook himself free. No, you were consumed by your own pride and forgot what it means to be a hero. Heroes don't exalt themselves above the people they save. A true hero is humble enough to know he answered a call for help, not fulfilled a destiny of greatness. A true hero helps those in need and walks away without desire for reward. A true hero never forgets that he is no different from everyone else. He only did what he thought was right. The Dark One scoffed, you and I are cut from the same cloth, boy. No, Arthur replied, I am nothing like you. I can admit defeat, something you cannot. The Black King laughed, a small, bitter sound. Well, just see about that, boy, we'll see. Then Arthur was flung back across the distance and into his room, his body and spirit reunited. He was shaken, but resolute. The forest of Whitman, the council of Merylin in chaos, and Pan's quiet, watchful hope had steeled him. A war approached and a choice had been set before him. To yield to the promise of power or to stand, humble and human, against the darkness that sought to remake the world in its own image.